Hello everyone, and welcome to day 4 of the Grand Chess Tours Your Next Move tournament in Leuven. The 3 days of Rapid are over, and now we have 2 days of Blitz. This is a game from round 5. It's a Blitz game between Levon, Aronian, and Viswanathan, Anand. It's really a crazy game, and it's also one of the reasons why sometimes it's really nice to take a break from classical chess. We're not going to analyze it too much since it's a Blitz game, but we are going to show some very nice tactics. And before we check out the game, we do have a nice photo challenge. So hope you did well in the previous one, and this one will not be so easy, as so far I think I've only done one video on this player. But you should know who he is. There was, I believe there was a show about 10 of the most famous chess players you've never heard of, and this person was, I believe, number 10. So some of you may know him. Here it is. Best of luck to everyone. His story is quite a sad one, and a lot of people they say Morphy was the the joy and sorrow of chess, but this man's story would also make Kaisa very sad. So for those of you who were able to, figure it out, congratulations, your knowledge truly is vast. And I have done one video on a game between him and Jose Raul Capablanca, so if you figure out who this person is, you are welcome to check out this video. So let's check this game out. Aronian has the white pieces, and he opens with e4. We have e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, sorry about that, just a second. Bishop to c4, bishop to c5, and here Aronian did not go for the Evans gambit, rather he played d3. We have knight to f6, so the Italian game is on the board, gioco pianissimo. We have castles, d6, c3, a6, knight bd2. We have castles by Anand, bishop to b3, rook to e8, rook to e1, and bishop to e6. So it's only move 9, but Aronian's next move is a brilliant one, and it's hard to imagine such a move can exist in a position like this. Here Aronian played bishop to c2. He avoids the trade of bishops, but this move is actually a terrible blunder. Why bishop to c2 is a terrible blunder? Well, you'll just have to pause the video and try to figure it out for yourselves. So it's only move 10, but here Anand has a crushing move. So I will give it a couple of seconds as usual. For those of you who were able to find it, congratulations, you are really an excellent attacker. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, here comes knight to g4. And the knight to g4 is a great move because it really takes advantage of the fact that the only piece defending the bishop on c2 is actually the queen. So, it seems like the bishop is very well defended, and how are you going to get the bishop? But it really reminds me of a game between Grganitsa and Mikhail Tal, where Grganitsa played a weird rook move, and Tal saw that nothing was actually guarding that rook. So if you want to check out that video, it's also an excellent game. It's a very old video, but I will put a link to it in the description below, so you can check that out as well if you're interested. Quite a lovely Tal game. So knight to g4, simply attacking the f2 pawn. And now the only way you can defend the f2 pawn is by rook e2 or rook f1. It doesn't matter what you play. Aronian played rook to e2, and now comes bishop captures on f2, and this is with check. So of course you don't want to play king f1, then knight e3 is coming, but even if you play king h1, again knight e3 is coming. The queen has nowhere to go. The bishop and the knight are covering all of the squares, so you have to capture it, and now black is up the exchange and up a pawn. White is completely busted. So after bishop captures on f2, Aronian saw that he has to capture it. So we have rook captures, and now knight to e3, attacking the queen. The queen has to move, and now you see the problem with this bishop to c2 move. The bishop on c2 is really undefended. So queen to e2, we have knight captures on c2, and now rook to b1. As the rook was attacked. Bishop captures on a2, and now Aronian cannot save this rook. But he can play b3. We have bishop captures on b1, Knight captures on b1, now trapping this knight on c2, so the knight can't really escape, but okay, we have knight to d4, c captures on d4, knight captures on d4, attacking the queen, knight captures, and d captures on d4. If you look at this position, Aronian does have a knight and a bishop for a rook, but Anand is up 3 pawns. So with so many pawns and a rook against 2 pieces, Anand definitely is better here. So after knight to d2, we have c5, we have queen to g4. Aronian is planning knight f3, and then the bishop will be able to attack the black king via bishop to h6. We have queen to c8, Anand offers a trade of queens, queen g3, Aronian declines, and now d5. We have knight to f3, and here we have the first bad move by Anand. D captures on e4, immediately allowing Aronian to take on to continue with the attack. We have bishop to h6. Now there's the threat of checkmate. Queen captures on g7. G6 is the only move that defends this threat, and now comes knight to g5. Attacking the f7 pawn, and there's no way you can allow this, of course, but it's very hard to defend it. If you play something like rook e7, knight captures on e4 is coming, then the threat is knight to f6, you can't allow this, and here black would have to capture the knight, and then white would simply be up a piece. But after this knight g to f5 move, Anand played an even worse move. He played f5, and here I want you to pause the video again and try to figure out why this is a blunder. Aronian missed it. Aronian didn't find it. Try to find it, and I will give it a couple of seconds as usual. For those of you who found it, congratulations. You are an excellent exploiter of the 7th rank. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, the idea is rook captures on f5. So, of course, you cannot allow rook to f7, then rook g7, rook h7, all of these ideas become possible, and there's really no good way to prevent this. If you try something like queen captures the rook, which is, of course, the main idea. If you play pawn captures, then knight captures on h7 will decide the game. But if queen captures, now you can see that queen to c7, there is no defense against queen to g7 checkmate. Okay, if you can block this, but then you get queen to h7 checkmate. Doesn't really matter. But after f5, we have d captures on e5. Aronian misses this, and he grabs a pawn. And now Anand misses his opportunity to defend. And now queen to d7 is the only defense, because now either e captures on f5, then rook e1, and black is fine. You have to block, captures, and now this captures the pawn. Or after queen to d7, the rook f5 idea no longer works, because now you can capture the rook. There are no useful discoveries, and after knight captures, which was the winning attack in the previous variation, here king captures, and there is no more checkmate on g7 because the queen is now protecting it. But after d captures on c4, Aronian grabbed the pawn, and then Anand did not defend precisely, rather he played c4. And now, giving it a second try, Aronian does find rook captures on f5. So rook captures on f5, and there is really no good defense here. So you cannot allow rook to f7. Anand tried capturing it, but now you get knight captures on h7. Grabbing the knight would result in queen g7 checkmate. So after knight to h7, we have king to f7, now queen to g7 check, king e6, queen to f6, so the king hunt is on. King d7, now queen captures on d4 check, king c7, bishop to f4 check, the king is running out of squares, king c6, and now queen captures on c4, and it was in this position on move 32 that Viswanathan Anand resigned the game. Why did he resign? Well, the only two options, king b6 and king d7, result in checkmate in 2. So if you try king to b6, then of course you get bishop e3 check, king moves, and now queen to a4 will be checkmate. And if you try after queen to c4, king to d7, then you get queen d6 check, king moves, and now bishop to g5 will be checkmate, as the knight is covering the f8 square. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. It's quite, it was brilliant how Anand took advantage of that, seemingly harmless move, bishop to c2. He immediately punished it with knight to g4, and then he allowed this monstrosity of an attack, and lastly a king hunt. But such is the way of blitz. So yeah, once again, I do hope you enjoyed it. as usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon with at least 1 more game from this lovely Blitz event in Leuven, and we're gonna check out the standings. The final game I show, and then I'm gonna include the standings as well after the first day of Blitz. So yeah, thank you all, and I'll see you soon. Best of luck with the photo challenge.